Good evening. It is Wednesday, July 8th, 2026 at 6:01 p.m. I'd like to call this meeting to order and remind everybody at this time to please silence your cell phones. We do have two commissioners joining from GoToMeeting today. It'll be Commissioner Mills and Commissioner Hayes voting from GoTo. At this time, can everybody join us for the Pledge of Allegiance? Thank you. Item number 3 is public comment. Is there any public comment? I'd like to remind everybody that public comment is limited to 3 minutes. Seeing that there is none at this time, we'll move on to item number 4, verification of the posting of the agenda.
The agenda was posted on July 1st, 2026 between the hours of 8:30 a.m. and 5 p.m. at all the locations listed on the agenda in accordance with NRS 241 and Churchill County Code.
Thank you. Item number 5, verification of notification of all landowners in accordance with the NRS and Churchill County Consolidated Development Code.
Yes, all landowners were noticed as required.
Item number 6, consideration and possible action regarding approval of minutes of the meeting held on June 10th, 2026, public hearing.
Madam Chair, Joe Frey for the record. I move to accept the minutes from the June 10th public hearing.
We have a first with Commissioner Frey, second within Commissioner Nsotegi. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, looks like I have a vote 5-0 pass. Item number 7, old business, consideration and possible action regarding renewal of a temporary use permit, TUP 384, previously granted to Carrie Bassford on August 10th, 2020. The property is located at 895 Howard Place. Assessor's parcel number is 007-85119 in the A5 zoning district. The applicant has not been able to sell the property within the last 6 months and is requesting another renewal of the permit to allow him to sell the property and move. Since this has been posted, there was 2 submittals that were submitted prior to 5 p.m. this evening. For any of you that would like to know or have them, they are open to the public in the binder over there if you'd like to see those notes. At this time, I'll turn it over to staff.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Randy Hines, Public Works, Planning and Building. Again, back in January, the applicant was granted a 6-month extension because he was in the process of trying to sell the property so he could move off. Since then, we did a compliance inspection on May 20th, and we found, when we did the inspection, we discovered that the applicant was actually there, the RV was occupied with, I think his girlfriend or friend, and then he was living in the shed. We informed him that he couldn't be living in the shed, because again, that doesn't meet county code. We tried to get a second inspection to verify that he was out of the shed, and we got denied that second inspection. So I just wanted to bring that to your guys' attention. We also did receive a letter that you guys had stated that he's accepted an offer as of today, and he's planning on the closing date for that is 8/21. And then Mr. Bassford can give you any more updates from there.
Perfect. Mr. Bassford, if you'd like to come up and state your name and address for the record, please. Both of you will need to state your name and address for the record. Thank you. Go ahead and hit the mic on the bottom. Your top mic will turn green.
Josh Burney for the record.
Oh, Carrie Bassford.
And your address, please. Your address.
I'm sorry.
Your address. You state your address
address?
for the record.
895 Howard Place,
Thank
Fountain,
you.
Nevada. 89406.
Perfect. Is there anything you would like to add to what the staff stated?
Sorry.
Is there anything you would like to add tonight before we turn it over to the board? Is there anything you'd like to add to what the staff had to add?
Yes, a lot has happened when, with what Mr. Randy Hines mentioned. We did send numerous emails to Lorelei, informing her the reasons why we did not want her to come out anymore because of the violations that we feel that she imposed on us and the emotional distress. And she came totally unannounced. Didn't call, didn't send any letter, no transparency whatsoever, and showed up at my place in my window in my underwear. And then she asked me if I would please give her an update on everything that I've done in order to vacate. And I said, yes, I would, and I would bring the information in, and I did, and I gave it to her, and she said she would give it to you. And then in the meantime, we've also given all the information to you, and I have this letter here that I submitted this evening. And the code, there was no code mentioned. She mentioned no codes. She didn't keep her appointments, as she said, and she changed it twice on me. And so I feel I complied. I got out of the shed, and we sent her photographs, as she said I could. And we said, well, please don't, we do not, and she said we could deny another inspection. And we said we would appreciate that because my fiance had a heart attack due to the stress that we were under in order to meet her demands, which we did, and she didn't show. She didn't keep her appointment, and she didn't call until a couple of days later. So I'm out of the shed, and then she mentioned electricity, and there was no code mentioned. And there's electricity in the shed for safety reasons, so I don't trip and fall going into the shed, which is a storage unit, and I'm out of it now. And then, on top of that, I would like to introduce Mr. Josh Burney here, who has been handling my real estate, and we have good news. And if you have any real estate questions, would you please ask him so he can update you on where we're at right now with it?
Perfect. Thank you. Josh, is there anything you'd like to add?
We accepted an offer yesterday. We had 2 offers actually. And like Randy said, we have a close date of the 21st of August. So from that side of things, that's where we stand. I know we just started since it was yesterday that we went into escrow, so.
Perfect. Thank you. Mr. Vassford, I'd like to remind you the fact that the compliance officer is just trying to get you to comply with the code that we've been working with since 2020. I did read your letters. I read all your paperwork that you have submitted prior to. And where you did note that the commissioners vote according to their conscience, I want you to know that we vote according to code. So in the event that the commissioners do choose to deny this evening, I have driven out to the property, and I am very well aware of everything you state in your letter, and all your neighbors do have 4 or 5 tenants living in RVs around you, and they're not applying to code either. So I'd like you to keep that in mind just because you don't have acceptance or an actual permit saying that you can live on your property in the event that it is denied. Do you understand?
No.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I don't understand. Code, you said?
Yes, we vote according to code, and the code states, and the code has stated, as Randy has put in place there, that we have been allowing you extensions, but we can't continue to allow extensions. So I don't want you to be surprised in the event that something does take place tonight and you're not granted that. Okay?
Okay, that code. So that's why Mr. Burney here is updating you, because
Correct.
it looks like it's going to sell. So
Exactly.
I need time to be able for it to sell so that I can then move away once it sells.
Yes,
I
and you
can't-
do
I
have
have
time.
nowhere to go, and I can't move until it sells.
I understand.
Okay.
So staff, if you don't mind enlightening the public, if this is terminated tonight, he does have time. He has enough ample time to go ahead and close at the sale and take everything in-house with you. Is that a possibility?
Yes, so if it is denied tonight, basically what we'll do is there's, per code, he can stay there for 90 days, right? We would start that at tonight or tomorrow. So 90 days from today is when he would have to be out. You know, if it looks like it's for sale, you know, you guys have the option to say, you know, we could extend it till the 21st and go from there, or you can terminate it today, and then again, he'd have that 90 days. But then we would be at the property on 90 days if for some reason it fell through, or, you know what I'm saying? So we just don't know what's gonna happen on the 21st. I can't tell the future, but, so hopefully that answered your question.
Excuse me, miss. Papers have been signed with Mr. Burney here, and it looks like it's going to go through, and I was checking with him before we came up here. So it looks real positive. So we have papers signed with both parties at this point.
Perfect, thank you. Mr. Mills, counsel, by chance, is this something that we can refer in-house to staff to take over if we go ahead and terminate this tonight? And then from here, if for some reason the two escrows that the two offers fall through, that they can handle this in-house from here? Or what is the option on that?
Well, I mean, I think you can continue this, as Randy indicated, and you can go forward today if you want to, and have him vote to deny it, and then he's got that 90 days. But as I think what Randy is alluded to, that we don't know what's going to happen on the 21st, and anybody who has been involved in some real estate transactions knows that things can happen. And so, I mean, that's up to the board.
Madam Chair, can I just add to that? If you put it back as far as administrative, all we're just gonna have to do is deny it if it doesn't happen. So, I mean, again, your guys' choice, but if he's got a date, maybe we just extend it to September, and then hopefully everything works out and he's done and he's out. That would probably be the cleanest. Or we can always terminate it and he has got 90 days, and if something happens, we gotta deal with it later. So again, I don't want it to come back to the department, because then it's gonna come right back to you anyway if something happens.
Excuse me,
Thank you for
miss.
that clarification. Yes, sir.
Yes, I would like to let you know that I'm doing everything. I've got all my records. I've contacted every agency in Nevada about housing, and I'm on 5 waiting lists, and I've contacted 20 apartment complexes, and I went to Carson City personally, and went to apartment complexes, and now I'm also going to be checking out trailer, because we do have the trailer. I'm going to be checking out. If need be, we'll just take the trailer and go to a trailer park. So I'm doing that now also.
Perfect. Thank you, sir. I'd like to open it up to the board.
Madam Chairman, Jeff Goings for the record. Mr. Burney, you've got a lot of experience in real estate. Give us your feeling on this. Was it going to close by the 21st?
At the moment, I don't see any reason why.
Why it should not?
Yeah, so we have a 15-day due diligence period. So I mentioned when we get past that 15 days, we'll know yes or no whether we're moving forward. But, you know, we're 1 day in, so it's a little early to say whether or not. But with vacant land, they're pretty straightforward deals, so.
Perfect.
Does it happen to be apparent to financing, or is it a cash offer?
Yeah, they are getting financing with Rural First is the bank they're using.
So Dennis Mills for the record, just to comment here, the tidy part of me wants to deny the extension today, but the worldwise part of me says that's not a smart thing to do. So my thoughts would be it's not going to hurt anything to extend this another 2 or 3 months, which would then give Mr. Bassford the extra time if something falls through and they need to seek somebody else. But it's really positive to hear that we're moving forward with some action on this.
Thank you, Commissioner Mills. Anything else from the board? Seeing that there is none, is there any public comment? Seeing that there is none, I'd like to entertain a motion.
Madam Chair, Joe Frey for the record. I move to renew the temporary use for permit for Carrie Bassford for an additional 30 days, which will cause it to expire on September 12th, 2026, at which point no renewals will be issued.
Second that.
Madam Chair, just to clarify, that's 60 days, not 30 days.
Can you amend your motion, please? What date are you looking for, staff?
It expires today, doesn't it? Or am I wrong, Diane?
I think it actually, expired the end of June,
Yeah.
which is why we're bringing it to this meeting, but, if you want to extend it to, the September or the end of August, that would be, July, so 60 days to the end of August.
So we need to amend the motion to confirm the
Yeah.
60 days.
Madam Chair, Joe Frey for the record. If we want, we could just strike that previous motion and I'll create a new one. I move to renew the temporary use permit, TUP number 384, for Carrie Bassford until August 30th, 2026, at which point no renewals will be issued.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Frey, a second by Commissioner Goings. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we have 6-0, you have a pass. Thank you for coming this evening. You have 60 days. Good luck with your closing of your escrow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Item number 7, old business. Consideration and possible action regarding review of a special use permit, SUP 1103, previously granted on July 10th, 2024 to MV Energy for Phase 1 of the Sierra Solar Renewable Energy Facility on Sage Hen Creek Road. The assessor's parcel numbers are 004-331-01, 004-331-11, 004-35102, 004-351-03, 004-35104, 004-35105, 004-35107, 004-351-08, 004-351-09, 004-351-110, I'm sorry, 10, 004-351-11, 004-351-14, 004-351-145, 004-35116, 004-35121, and 004-351-22, and 004-351-36. One of the conditions for approval was an annual review until the Planning Commission determines that the annual review is no longer necessary. Is there anyone here to speak on the behalf? Okay, perfect. I'll turn it over to staff. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Again, Randy Hines for the record. We did receive an email from Miss Apikian. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Kind of giving us an update on where this sits today. I think this is now year 2 of the project. And attached in the agenda report, there's a spreadsheet addressing all the SUP requirements from the 2026 Planning Commission Annual SUP Review, and I can go over any of those if you want, but they did highlight some of the items that they've addressed, and I think for the most part, most of them are addressed or they're finalizing them up prior to the end of the construction. I did kind of want to go over a couple milestones. The lantern switch yard, I think we have some pictures here. So this is the lantern switching station. This was actually, this is completed and operational as of December 2025. And that's a picture of what was constructed out there. Number 2, we have the Sierra Bess station. So this is their battery storage. So this is what's holding it during the day and then using it at night. This again was completed and operational as of March of 2026. Number 3, we've got the Sierra substation in Gentai. This is complete and operational as of December 2025. So these are kind of the big structures. And if you were on the board, 2 years ago, you'd have seen where these were kind of in relation to the site. But these are all construction. They're tied into the main power line. They're all backfed now. The O&M building is constructed, and that's complete, and they've got their C of O obtained in March of 2026. The construction for the remainder of the project, and the remainder of the project is really putting up the solar panels and then tying all those into the infrastructure. That is expected to be done in Q1 of 2027. So it's gonna be prior to their third year annual renewal, or their renewal, or review. So again, you guys have the option. They're probably, not 85 to 90% complete. They're just trying to get everything tied together, so, and then clean up, and then we'll go out and inspect roads and so on and so forth at the end to make sure that they're back to what they were when they constructed those. So, I don't know if we'll get to July, because they'll probably be done before then, so we can always bring this to you earlier if you guys wanted another review for that last year. And with that, I can answer any questions.
Thank you, staff. Is there anything from the board? It doesn't appear Mr. Mills or Commissioner Hyde have anything to say, Diane? No? Any public comment? Perfect. Let's entertain a motion.
Madam Chair, Vic Ansotigi for the record. I motion to continue the annual review of the special use permit granted to NV Energy for the Sierra Solar Project Phase 1.
I have a first by
Second.
Commissioner Ansotigi, a second by Commissioner Frey. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All six. It'll pass 6-0. Thank you. Item number 8, new business. A, consideration and possible action regarding a sending site application TDR 26-2 filed by Thane and Carrie Ernst. The property is located at 1975 Bernie Road. The assessor's parcel number is 006-851-03, consisting of 40 acres with 34.28 irrigated water righted acres in the 810 zoning district. The applicant is proposing to record a conservation easement on the property. Is there anyone here to speak on that behalf? All right, I'll turn it over to staff.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Again, Randy Hines for the record. This subject property meets the minimum requirements set forth in Churchill County Code, Chapter 16.14. Based on the transfer development right calculations, the total TDRs for the property will be 50. The property owners asked for when we do the appraisals to do one with a home reservation and without. So again, they have that option to have another home reservation on the property. The sending site reviewed this, the sending site committee reviewed the application on June 29, 2026, recommended approval of the sending site and the approval of the 50 TDRs. And with that, I can answer any questions.
Thank you, staff. I'll turn it over to the board. Nothing from online, Diane? All right, is there any public comment? Seeing that there are none, can I entertain a motion?
Madam Chair, Joe Frey for the record. Based on the information provided in the application and the staff report, sending site meeting and heard tonight, I move to recommend the following to the Board of County Commissioners. Approval of the sending site application for Thane and Carrie Ernst, based on providing community beliefs of preserving 40 acres of farmland with surface water rights, protecting nearby military operations, and protecting water recharge areas, and approval of 50 TDRs of the same property.
I have a first by Commissioner Frey, second by Commissioner Ansotigi. All those in favor?
Aye.
We got 6 with the 2 online, so it'll pass 6-0. Item number 8, new business B, consideration of possible action regarding a reversion to acreage map application PC 26-8 filed by Gloria Frey and Rise McDonald. The properties are located at 793 and 825 River Village Drive. Assessor's parcel number is 008-421-70 and 008-421-71 in the E1 zoning district. The applicant proposes to create one parcel from the 2 lots. Is there anyone here to speak on this behalf? Hello, sir. Please state your name and address for the record.
Good evening, David Crook with Loomis and Associates, 275 West Williams, Fallon. I'm here to answer any questions you may have.
Perfect. I'll turn it over to staff.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Dan Kalan for the record, Churchill County Planning, have PC 26-8 for you. The applicant is requesting to combine a 1.07 acre and a 1.06 acre parcel into a 2.13 acre parcel. The applicant has already completed the abandonment of the public utility easement. Staff is able to make the purpose and findings based on Churchill County Code and recommends approval with the conditions attached. Available for any questions if you have any.
Thank you, staff. I'll turn it over to the board. Do you have any questions?
Madam Chair, Joe Frey for the record. I'm going to recuse myself from this matter.
Thank you, sir. Seeing that there's no comments, is there any public comment? Can I entertain a motion?
Madam Chair, Vicky Ansotigi for the record. Based on the information provided in the application, in the staff report, and heard tonight, I move to find that the purpose and findings for regulating the division of land and imposing conditions outlined in Churchill County Code 16.12.010 and 16.04.050 have been met for the parcel map PC 26-8 to create one parcel from two existing lots parcel at 793 and 825 River Village Drive, assessor parcel number 008-421-70 and 71, and therefore recommend the Board of County Commissioners approve the reversion to acreage application.
Second.
I have a first by Commissioner Ansotigi, a second by Commissioner Goings. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Did Mark vote? Yes. All right, it'll pass 5-0. Thank you for your time, sir. 8, new business C, consideration and possible action regarding special use permit application SUP 26-13 filed by Eric Scott. The property is located at 4405 Sheckler Road, assessor's parcel number 006-231-38 in the A5 zoning district. The applicant is proposing to operate a home-based business for equipment rentals. Please state your name and address for the record, both.
Eric Scott, 4405 Sheckler Road.
Thank you, sir. I'll turn it over to staff.
Karina Nolasco for the record, Churchill County Planning, SUP 26-13. The applicant is requesting to establish a specialized vehicle or trailer rental home-based business for renting homeowner-sized dump trailers. The hours of operation will be between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. Monday through Sunday. Services will be by appointment. The applicant will drop off the equipment and pick up equipment to delivery site. Staff received no public comment. Staff is able to make all 5 findings, therefore staff recommends approve with conditions. I'm open for questions. Thank you.
Yes, sir. With your home-based business and you're not running any customers in the actual home or on the property, what is your strategy for social media? Is that how you're going to get your business without having anyone come to the property?
Yes, primarily will be a mixture of social media and like bulletin board, a big R, that kind of advertising, word of mouth.
Any more questions from the board? Commissioner Goings does have something to bring. What about Hyde or Commissioner Mills? No comment?
Nothing here.
Great, thank you.
So, I'm sorry, Jeff Goings for the record, Mr. Scott. In reading through this, I just want to clarify, what we're talking about here is empty trailers, nothing in them. They rent the trailer, use it, bring it back, deliver it back to where it was at, not having any vehicles on them, no garbage, nothing like that. That's exactly what you're I'm wanting to make sure that that's exactly what we're speaking about here, right?
So what we got going on is somebody will call me, I will deliver a trailer or a mini excavator to their house. They will use it, I will go pick it up and bring it back to my house.
Thank you for that clarification. He was wanting to make sure that no debris was coming back to your home. Thank you. Anything else from the board?
Yeah, Madam Chair, Vic Ansotigi for the record. Where on the lot are you going to store the trailers and the excavators?
It'll be in the southeast corner of the property. Yeah, roughly where the circle indicates.
So there's a fairly long driveway coming from Scheckler back to your mobile home back in there where you live, is that correct? And everything's gonna be stored back there, nothing's on the road for advertising, there's not gonna be any signs on the trailers on the road?
That's correct. Everything's roughly a quarter mile from Scheckler. It's way off the beaten path.
Thank you. Any more questions from the board? Is there any public comment? Seeing that there is none, can I entertain a motion?
Madam Chair, Jeff Goings for the record. Based on the information provided in the application and the staff report and heard tonight, I move to find the criteria found in CCC 16.08.080H have been met and therefore approve the special use permit SUP 2613 to establish a specialized vehicle or trailer rental home-based business parcel at 4405 Scheckler Road, APN 006-231-38.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Goings, second by Commissioner Ansotigi. All those in favor?
Aye.
We have a vote from Mark. It'll pass 6-0. Thank you, sir, for your time. Thank you, Karina. 8, new business. D, consideration and possible action regarding special use permit application SUP 25-26 filed by Wade Lumsden of GSD Metals. The property is located at 2954 Enterprise Way, assessor's parcel number 007-311-50 in the I-2 zoning district. The applicant proposes expanding the area permitted for scrap recycling and adding tire recycling to the existing wrecking yard and scrap metal recycling facility. Is there anyone here to speak on this behalf? Thank you. Please come up and state your name and address for the record, both of you, and then we'll turn it over to staff.
Wade Lumsden, representing 2954 Enterprise Way in Fallon, Nevada.
And Jessica Schierschmidt, also 2954 Enterprise Way.
Staff?
Dan Klon for the record again. Thank you, Madam Chair. Have before you SUP 25-26. The applicant is requesting to expand the existing wrecking yard and scrap facility from 9 acres to 13.05 acres and add the additional use of tire grinding and recycling. The original site SUP was issued in 2010. Staff is able to make all 5 of the required findings with the conditions addressing landscaping, parking, building permits, storage of vehicle fluids, fire access, and existing parking on Enterprise Way. Therefore recommends approval with conditions, and I'm available for any questions you might have. Thank you.
If you don't mind putting on record, as far as the tire recycling, is that something where you're just accepting the tires and then you're hauling them out, or will you be disposing of them, burning them, disposing of them on property? What is the process for the tire recycling?
Yeah, not a problem. I actually brought a couple samples to kind of show you the different stages. So most Nevada tire recyclers, all they really are is haulers. They collect tires and then haul them to your guys' dumps where liners get torn up and they're hard to manage. What we intend to do is actually recycle and recover materials so that they can be reused. So our tire recycling process, all the equipment that we have, we'll actually break it down into 4 stages. Stage number 1 being big chunks of rubber, just nice and chewed up, still has a bunch of tire left in there. It has the metal, has the nylon, has everything. This is actually a usable product for some places like paper mills, concrete mills, things like that. They use this in their kiln. Burning tires in their kiln, they kill all the emissions, and they like the metal to drop down into their product as they process it. So this is one product that we would create. The next step is we send it through another grinder and we strip out all of those, all of the metal banding that's inside the tire, and what you're left with is a chunk of rubber and nylon. This sort of item is used for like playgrounds. It's been used for a replacement for like gravel for drainage, and things like that. So a useful product there. And then, unfortunately, I shook up my cup here. But you'll see, I don't know if you can see it in my hands, but you end up with a separation of nylon and what's called crumb rubber out into two different products. The nylon can be recycled to many automotive industries use that to use inside their automotive manufacturing processes. And then the crumb rubber is really common for like sports fields, as well as like a pea gravel, and those sorts of things. You can actually refine this down even more, which we're not currently set up to do, but you can get this ground down to a point where they can use it in ink. You can turn it back into charcoal black and they can use it for ink or even for water filtration. So our goal is to keep all of these products out of your landfill and turn them into something useful again.
And you do happen to be right next door to the city transfer station.
Yes, we are.
With that being said, is that something, can you work with them for this expansion to help, or can you enlighten us on that?
Yeah, so I believe when we kicked off initially trying to bring in the equipment, we actually met with the city, and they were all for this idea, because apparently they're having some issues with tires out at their landfill, and need to find an outlet for that anyways. But they seemed very receptive to what we were wanting to do, and then pending SUP, our permitting, conversations kind of halted until we can start moving forward.
And you're familiar with all the conditions that the county has placed on you? You've read through those and you approve of all those conditions?
We've discussed them. I did not get a chance to read through them in your report.
They're basically the same,
As what we discussed,
pretty much.
then yes.
I'd like to turn it over to the board.
Madam Chair, Jeff Goings for the record, and just a point of curiosity. In stage 2, how do you actually remove the metals from that without, I'm curious, how does that happen? What's the process that removes the metals from stage 1?
Yeah, so we have a large grinder is the best way to describe it, but imagine two large drum wheels, one spinning at a different speed than the other, and what it does is it actually grabs a hold of this rubber and it rips it apart. It creates a shear effect of the material, and then that material then drops down onto conveyors, which we separate out those via basically screen filters, but the metals are always grabbed by magnetic rollers. And if, I'll give you an example. Let's say that managed to make it through. The magnetic rollers are strong enough to grab a hold of this and re-put it through the process until that metal is gone.
Thank you for the education.
Yes.
Madam
Any-
Chair, Dennis Mills for the record. Mr. Lumsden, just one question about the building that your office is in. It looks like one of the conditions is that it'll need to be put on a permanent foundation and septic and some other things fixed up. I saw a letter from the landowner, Mr. Travis, that he's in full agreement with your plans for the tire recycling. Is there going to be any, I don't know if he owns the trailer, if you own the trailer, is there going to be any complications there involving fixing up the trailer with the landowner?
No, Mr. Travis, he previously, I believe he actually had that permitted to have it placed the way it was. As described, he said that it was he had to actually buy that specific office to be in compliance with the permitting when he originally opened this business. But he has absolutely no issues with us making changes to the office or any of the property.
But that cost is going to be borne by you, right?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Sir, is there any public that's ever on site at this location?
Yeah, so obviously we collect your guys' scrap metal in the local area, scrap metal and wrecking yard. So we do have a handful of customers on a daily basis that bring in a truck or a trailer full of scrap metal for us to sort, process, and then ship out.
I do note the top, or rather left section of the property here shown is open to the public. It is gated from that right side over, which is where the tire processing would be.
Yes.
Any further questions from the board? I'd like to open it up to, go ahead.
Sorry, saying no. I'm fine.
Any public comment? Seeing that there is none, can I entertain a motion?
Madam Chair, Vicky Ansotigi for the record. Based on the information provided in the application, in the staff report, and heard tonight, I move to find that the criteria found in Churchill County Code 16.08.080H have been met, and therefore approve the special use permit SUP 25-26 to expand the area permitted for scrap recycling and adding tire recycling to the existing wrecking yards and scrap metal facility parcel at 2954 Enterprise Way, assessor parcel number 007-311-50.
Second.
I have a motion from Commissioner Ansotigi, seconded by Commissioner Goings. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Hyde? It'll pass 6-0. Thank you and good luck with your expansion. Thank you for your time.
Good luck.
Item number 9, consent agenda. All matters listed on the consent agenda are considered routine and may be acted upon the Board of County Commissioners with one action and without an extensive hearing. Any member of the board or citizen may request that an item be taken off the consent agenda, discussed and acted upon separately during this meeting. A, consideration and possible action regarding a termination of a special use permit SUP 1086 previously granted on May 8th, 2024 by Clayton Bryant Dirtworks LLC for a home-based business with outside storage of heavy equipment. The property is based at 3205 Brookside Circle. Assessor's parcel number is 008-421-23 in the E1 zoning district. The applicant has moved his business to 150 Classic Way after being granted a special use permit on June 10th, 2026 for that business in the C1 zoning district. The home business permit is no longer needed and should be terminated. The item to the board, I'm questioning the board here. It doesn't need to be pulled out. No questions? Thank you. Item number B, consideration of possible action regarding discontinuation of a review of special use permit SUP 1038 previously granted on August 10th, 2022 to Paul Picotti, the Grid Brewery for A, beverage processing, B, eating, drinking establishment with alcohol sales, nighttime hours, and C, multi-tenant retail facility. The property is located at 2030 Reno Highway, assessor's parcel number 008-361-56 in the C2 zoning district, and the majority of the conditions for approval have been completed. There are still awaiting the NDOT improvements at the highway entrance, and the remaining conditions be monitored by staff for completion. Staff, can you please enlighten us?
Yeah, there has been no update since then. Again, they're just waiting for the NDOT's working on plans to improve that road from Allen to Coleman Road. He's waiting for NDOT to do that so he doesn't incur the cost to do those improvements. Again, waiting for NDOT to do that. Everything else is met besides that, so.
Sometimes NDOT can take years, 2 to 3 years, so by us passing this, there will be no more annual review, there won't be any review whatsoever. There will be no follow-up on this, or will it be in-house only?
Would be in-house.
Perfect. Any questions from the board? Item number C, consideration and possible action regarding discontinuation of a review of special use permit SUP 25-15 previously granted on June 11th, 2025 to Creekwood Homes for a manufactured home dealership. The property is located at 3981, 3977, and 3943 Reno Highway. The assessor's parcel number is 008-411-40, 008-411-41, and 008-411-42 in the C1 zoning district. The conditions for approval have been verified by staff to be completed. With this in mind, I'm asking, as far as the landscaping, I know that we are hitting hard for Marshall Septic, but I don't see that any landscaping has been done at the former J.K. Lamas lot. So you guys are saying that the landscaping is completed. What have you seen?
We'll go look at that again.
Okay, so with that said, as far as the consent agenda items, C will be pulled out and be reviewed. B, we don't have any questions on, and A. So can I entertain a motion for the acceptance of A and B, and C be pulled out for review?
Madam Chair, Joe Frey for the record. I move to approve items A and B of the consent agenda and review item C at a later date.
We have a motion first by Commissioner Frey, second by Commissioner Goings. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. A vote from Mark? All right, it'll pass 6-0. Item number 10, consideration and possible action regarding cancellation of the joint workshop July 28th, 2026, regarding the data center, the ag exemptions, and the water sewer reduction. Can you please enlighten us, staff?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Randy Hines for the record. Again, we've gotten tasked from the board regarding some research for data centers, research for ag exemptions, and research for water and sewer connection fees. That's a significant amount of work for us, so we are pausing our proposed code changes and the joint workshop that we had for that July 28th. I did want to point out that the workshop for August, and Diane maybe can put the date on that, but we will, August 25th, we're planning to have a workshop on that for a proposed development that's coming into town. So just wanted to put that eyes on your radar. So the August 25th workshop we are scheduling to have as this date, and we'll have an update at the August Planning Commission meeting for you there.
Please clarify, staff. So there's a workshop, but it has nothing to do with item number 10. It's going to be a workshop in regards to what?
A potential development coming to town.
Okay, housing, commercial.
Both.
Perfect, thank you. Item number 11, consideration for future agenda items. Is there anything that the board would like to add for future agenda items? Seeing that there's none at this time, commissioner reports and updates. Is there any updates on reports or anything happening with the commissioners? I know that the job posting for the 7th commissioner closes tomorrow, July 9th. Item number 13, public comment. Is there any public comment? Seeing that there is none, meeting is adjourned at 6:49 p.m. Thank you for attending.